Well, looks like we're in for a round 2 before things really calm down. The sea state has gotten way worse than it was last night. I think the current is shifting and the wind is shifting, and they're not agreeing with each other. Really was hoping this was done, but I think for the next few hours we're back on some more serious watch, and yeah, hope we'll make it through. There's the sailboat that we saw last night, kind of drifting past us in the anchorage. It was on a mooring ball, but it got loose. It drifted through the mooring ball, and then it drifted through the anchorage, and then I believe it crashed into the rocks over there. Oh, it's very sad to see a sailboat on the rocks like that, but I guess its owners will come get it later. Still blowing 19-20 knots, but look at that sun peeking out. I think 2 more hours and we're through the worst part of this. Thanks a lot, Ida. Thanks a lot. It is about 1 o'clock. The sun is out. The sea state is calmer. It's still windy. It's still a little choppy, but much, much, much better. Enough that I think both Dave and I can actually take a nap, relax. We just had a little bit of a lunch and just kind of get our energies back. Last night was a little more intense than I think we both were prepared for. And I think anybody in this harbor was prepared for, seeing how many disasters happened all around us. But we're okay. And now we sleep and we try to reset our day. It's pretty hard to see, but I think they've got a crane here to get the boat that crashed into the rocks out of the water. It's so sad, but I'm so glad it's being rescued at least.
Got 2 wrenches. That means I can take off the old antenna mount, and we can get the brand new cell booster outside antenna installed, and that'll allow us to put our cell phone signal extender in. So let's go upstairs and do that. Take care of that. Okay, I've got the bolts off. Sorry, the nuts off. So now this guy can come right out. I don't know if you can see it, but it's no longer gray inside. It's actually the same. It's actually oiled in the inside because the metal's protected it this whole time. But that is soon to be covered up yet again. And now, old mount is off. Okay, we've got 3 new holes drilled, and we are tightening up the new bolts that should hold us in place. And I will test it by holding onto it while leaning off the boat. Just kidding. But it feels pretty solid. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's get the new antenna on. We now have the cable running through the new mount. So we're gonna thread it all the way down. Screw this guy on here. Also, as far as that goes, and that's it. Once we finish hooking up everything inside, we should have the antenna now is ready for the cell phone extender. It took most of the day, but I'll give a summary of where we are right now. So here is the pump that will act as our gray water pump. You can see that we managed to, using a heat gun, get 2 pieces of PEX onto the input and output, using these little steel clamps as well to keep it on there. Over here, we have our new drain in. Actually, if you pull it out, You can see that it's still moving around. We'll have to secure it in. We have to open this hole here just so we can get access to the inside. So we'll have to repair that before this is all over. And that drain there is connected to this blue hose barb down there. So that will come up, and once we install the new pump, that'll connect into this line here. That line there should pump around, and that'll be how we pump out any of the water from our new shower pump. All right, so we're going to continue this tomorrow after we have some food and see how far we get.
We wanted to put a washdown hose in our anchor locker because whenever we pull up the anchor, it's pretty dirty and we want to wash it down. So that is going to be one of our last big projects that we're going to do, that we would like to get done before leaving Rhode Island. And for that, we went to, when we did our road trip to Defender, we bought a washdown kit, and that came with the motor for it and the strainer and all the tubings and everything, and the actual hose that we'll need for it and everything, and all the little clippies and such. I think we're also going to try to run PEX tubing in between all of these things, and tonight at least we'd like to get a little bit of it done so that we know what we're missing, so that tomorrow when we make a big hardware store run for other things we need for our other projects to finish, we also have maybe a fuller list of things we need from this project. So that's what we're going to try to do tonight.
Okay, we are on, I think, maybe day 4 or 5 of this project. We're at the point now where the pump is in, and you can see it down there, and the input line going in. Right behind it is the output line. It's all the way in the back there in the shadows. You can just barely make it out. So what we need to do now is actually get that line to come up, basically to connect to the other hose. But it's a very tight spot, and I think with PEX it's going to require quite a bit of elbows and turns. So instead what we're looking at doing, our good friend gave us some of this flexible marine hose. So we're actually just going to connect the end of that system to this marine hose that can kind of wind through this cabinet, and that'll make it a lot easier. So we got the pieces together for that, and we're going to start putting that together now. So we're plugging in the power there. Is that working? Are you getting water?
I feel like I'm about to. Yeah!
Go ahead.
All right, let's see if this fits.
Ooh. So we may have mentioned before, but one problem with our new setup is that when we turn on the pump for the shower, we now get this happening over here. Basically, since the shower output is connected to the sink output, and there's nothing stopping it from flowing backwards, the sink gets water pumping out of it when we turn on the shower. So what we're going to use is, this is called a one-way valve or a check valve. Water can flow in this direction, but if pressure goes in this direction, if water tries to flow that way, it'll stop it. Maybe I can demonstrate that here. So you can see that water is flowing through that direction. If I flip it over, it's maybe not so easy to see, but this is full of water up here, and it will not flow through, so I can just pour it out. So if we install that facing this way, right underneath the sink, it should prevent this from happening. So we'll try it out and see if it works. so we did a small test and it looks like we're good. So if we turn on the sump pump, you see over here, no longer have water spewing out of the sink, and no water coming out of the sink is exactly what we're looking for. And this guy here still works as expected. You can see that we are draining as we want from our sink. And so yeah, I don't know if the check valve is the right way to accomplish this, but it worked for our situation, and now we have a working shower. And we no longer have to keep our hands over the sink when we try to take a shower, which is that's a plus. It's definitely a big plus. So I think we are almost done with this project. To make our washdown systems pump fit, we actually took this guy here. This is our toilets pump. We just shifted it down about 3-4 inches, and the new washdown pump is installed right here. You can see the electrical coming out for it over here. So this system requires a 15 amp fuse. So we bought one of these yesterday. If you look in its secret compartment, right over here, you can see a nice 15 amp fuse right there. While we were watching Critical Role last night, I added on some male and female connectors over here. So let's just seal that fuse up right there. All right, so what we need to do is go, this is female, so we're gonna put this male in like so. And then this is the power to the battery over here. So we're gonna attach, this is male and female as well, so let's attach those two up. We may be having some issues with the different size connectors over here, so stay tuned. We'll figure that out. It's been a couple minutes and I figured out how to do it. I just gotta squish the top down on this one and just get it in there. There we go. Nice tight fit. And yeah, when we connect up the black to the black over here, that'll be powered to the pump, and it powers a new pump, and that should turn on. So actually, we can try that real quick just to see if it runs. Oh, wait. Yep. There we go. Electrical is ready. So once we have the plumbing done, we can connect this. This will stay pressurized, so the pump will run just long enough to keep the pressure up. And we can clean some of this up a little bit, and the washdown pump will be ready to go. So let's get the plumbing done.
All right, now we are diving deep into our anchor locker, into the space here. And this is where we are hoping to attach the hose connection to wash down our anchor and anchor locker. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a hole in from the other side and see where it comes out here. And then we'll make a space big enough for the pipes and everything to come through. Yeah! All right, go ahead.
So that pump back there connects down into this junction over here. There's a Y valve right in the middle there that controls whether or not we are using that for the head or for the washdown. And that runs out the this little area over here. Let me see if I can get a good shot of it. But you can see that it's going up that wall in the corner over there. And that corner is carefully hidden by this wooden platform, is this little area here. So there's a bunch of elbows there for going outside of the boat. So we've drilled a hole in that wall, and that leads out here to the anchor locker. Apologies, it might be a little loud because it's a bit of a windy day today. But yeah, in here we have a brand new hose, and this can be used to wash an anchor. And anything else on deck up here. So it allows us to keep this all just a little bit cleaner.
So that is installing the sump pump for the bathroom shower done. And we also finished installing the raw water hose in the anchor locker, which was a huge, huge project. I did manage to measure out the second solar arch, which we'll talk about a little later in another episode. We also managed to finish installing the VR system, which stands for virtual reality, and it is a way for us to play some video games with our computer, but we did need a attachment that we ordered that once we get it, we will truly finish that project. And similarly, we also installed our cell signal extender, for which we also need a little adapter that we ordered on Amazon that we are waiting for just to finish up that project. But it should take about 5 minutes to finish that up once we get the adapter. We had a few surprises when it comes to servicing the windlass, so that is going to have to wait until we get to Annapolis, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get there. We also realized that we don't need to service our engine at 100 hours, we need to service it at 250 hours, and once we get to Annapolis, we do hope to get taken care of that. And we did finish our install of the security system. And we are done. We are done with our to-do list and our projects and our time in Newport. So time to clean up the boat and head out to Block Island.
Let me tell you this, let me tell you right now, your exquisite kiss, still burning, didn't know I missed this passion in life, now I'm addicted somehow. Let me tell you what is up with your smile, it's impossible, not melting, irresistible, when I look through your eyes, not even sky's the limit. I used to be satisfied, stayed over the surface, now I just can't get enough. You make me feel good like no other. I just want everyone to see what I've discovered. And when I'm with you, I go higher. You lift me up, now I can see so much farther. Beyond the horizon. Beyond the horizon.
We have arrived in Block Island. We've been here before, and we left last time because it was just too crowded. Now that Labor Day's done and it's a Monday, it's actually not quiet. There's maybe, 40, 50 boats here, but there's at least a lot more space than there was last time, and we feel a little more experience as well with anchoring. So we got it down. Right behind us is the shore. But this is kind of the shallowest part, so we were able to put as much scope as possible. The sun is moving behind the mast. Can you still see me? It's coming back. Okay, maybe. So we are on our way back south. We've done our big turn. So yeah, from this point forward, it's really heading back down to Long Island, then back down to Annapolis, and then finally places further south than that. We still got a few things we want to do around here, a few projects we want to wrap up, but we really had a great time in Newport. It was really just an amazing city, really great bus transportation to the hardware store and the marine store. Overall, it's a town that we got a lot of projects done in, but I think we really loved our time there. Just walking around the different restaurants, we kind of got to, it's only 2 weeks, but it kind of felt like home for a little while. And it is Turtle's home, so maybe somewhere down the line we'll make our way back up here to Newport when we're visiting family. We miss it. It was a really great place to be.
Leaving Rhode Island feels like the end of a chapter. That was always our destination heading north, leave Annapolis, buy a boat, leave Annapolis, get to Rhode Island. And that we've done, and even survived 2 hurricanes as a result of it. And now we are headed southward, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to hit up spots like Block Island that we skipped the first time. I can't wait to see family and friends one last time before we head south. And then the Annapolis Boat Show is a huge to-do, and I'm very excited because I feel like we're going to meet a few of our YouTube heroes there. So very excited, and that's kind of our next goal. And once we get there, and then we'll figure out where to go next. So excited for the next steps.